Well, hey, everybody, glad to be back with you again. And today we're talking about mastering the art of client acquisition. We're going to become masters today, David.
Masters. Absolute masters.
Like, I feel like He-Man, Masters of the Universe.
Well, you should. You should. Maybe we should have had a little He-Man action figure.
There we go. You probably have one of those, like in your collection.
That was after me.
Oh, that was my. You are a few years ahead of me.
My nephews were big. Were into He-Man. They had all the He-Man toys, and I was like, "What the heck is that?" He-Man. Don't you know who He-Man is? I'm like, no, I do not. So it took me a while to catch on.
Well, anyway, folks, we digress. But no, so we want to talk today about this important aspect of your business. If you can't get clients, you're not going to have a business for very long, right, David?
Right. Well, and that's exactly it. And this is where most businesses struggle and fail. Let's just be honest with you. It is the crux of what makes you succeed or fail. Again, think about it. If you set up a little local shop and you had a little local store and you did all the right things, you set it up so it's really well designed, you got a great product selection, you have a great feel once you're in the store. It's very clean, it's well lit, it's very professionally laid out, it's someplace people would like to come. But if you can't get anybody in the door, you're still not going anywhere. If you can't get people in the door. And so with every business, online or offline, it comes down to your ability to generate traffic, your ability to get people to your website, to your ability to get people to your store, get people to your offers. And how do you do that? How do you get people to hear it? Because again, a lot of this is just a numbers game. At the end of the day, that if you have a physical store, not everybody that walks in the door is going to buy.
Correct.
That's just the nature of the game, but a percentage of them will. But as long as you keep attracting the right kind of people to walk in your door and you keep building the traffic, you're going to grow as a business. And the same thing happens online. It's like you can, and we're not going to go through and talk about all the stuff of creating an offer and being able to close on sales today. Today, what we're really talking about is getting the leads to you so that you can do it. And at the end of the day, one of the most important things you have to remember is people say, well, I need to go out and generate traffic. No, you don't. Okay. All the traffic in the world already exists. Okay. It's already out there, and especially online. Billions of people go online every single day.
Right.
You do not need to generate any traffic whatsoever. What you need to do is you need to step into the streams of traffic that already exist and find a way to divert a little bit of it to look at what you're doing. And so all of that is really about, first of all, where are your people, and knowing what you're offering, and knowing people who would be interested in what I'm doing, they're going to be over here.
Mm-hmm.
This is someplace where that makes sense. They're going to be, over in this area, because this is where my people would mostly congregate. Great. You need to go over there. And again, you can go and hang out with other groups. Great. But guess what? Those are not the groups of people that are going to be interested in what you're doing. And so there's really, again, once you know that and you realize it's just a matter of positioning myself where the people are, where the traffic already is, and then getting my message in front of those people, you start to realize that's a lot simpler than you think. It's not about, trying to create attention and traffic out of nothing. Mm-hmm. No, it's already there. You need to find where they are. And now you need to make an offer of something of value to get their attention, to get a percentage of that traffic to come check you out. And so there are really three main ways of doing this. There's three strategies that you can utilize to get traffic to your site and to your offers. Because if you want to get clients, again, it's a numbers game. Like if you have, you have 1 million people coming to your website every month, you're going to get some sales.
Right.
I mean, it's just, unless you suck rocks.
You did something really good to get that many people there.
You can get 1 million people to your site every month. You're going to get some people, a percentage of those people to buy just by sheer volume.
Right.
And that's something that, I look at it and talk about on all this. So there's 3 ways of doing this. One is the social media mastery is what I call it. This is where you go on social media, and and again, there are people out there that are very good at this and very adept at this. We've talked about like Alex Ramosi in the past, and he's somebody that went out and just decided that I'm just going to produce content. And the man is a content machine, and now he has millions of followers online,
right,
that follow his posts on different platforms. And when he talks about making an offer to something, he gets a good percentage of people to go check out his offer because he has gone out and put forth all sorts of things on social media.
Right.
He's consistent. He has a good theme going on. And again, when you're doing this, there's 2 objectives that you have when you're doing all this. One is to get them off of social media, which sounds a little like, what? No, you're literally going on social media to get them off of social media.
Right.
You want to get them onto your site to look at from there. So you're stepping into that traffic stream. You're creating things of value. And again, when you do this, you have to make an offer of something that is of value. And so you're getting them off of social media and onto either your site or onto your email list, so that you could communicate with them directly off of the noise of social media. But we're always starting on social media because that's where the streams of traffic are.
Yeah.
It's like, why do advertisers advertise on television or on radio? It's because people are watching YouTube, they're watching television, programs, they're listening to the radio. Why are there advertisements there? Because that's where the people are. And so people are doing the same thing. They're putting their advertisements in there to try and divert a small percentage of that traffic to check them out. So when you become good at making an offer, and again, this is something that I see too often with people, is that you'll go on social media and you'll just say, hey, I would love to, schedule an appointment with you and get on and talk about what I'm doing. Bad.
You don't see that on television commercials.
No, but I see that on social media.
Right.
A lot.
Yeah.
And I see people who are, especially, as well as I do, Chris, on LinkedIn, that you will get people who message you and set up connections with you, and all you get is, hey, I do XYZ. I'd love to get on a call with you. And I can't imagine those people have any success, because I'm at a point where I don't even accept those connection requests anymore.
Right.
They're just like, I know where this is going past.
Right.
I'm not even interested in starting the conversation, because I don't need to now get 5 messages from you, harassing me with all this stuff. And so the thing that you have to understand is you have to lead with value. There has to be a way. Now, again, does the strategy work? Yes, if you lead with value. Yeah. If you come out, again, if you can go out and you produce valuable content, and you say things and you write things and you produce things that are of interest to people, and that people who are your ideal client would say, wow, that was really useful.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of value out of this. This is really interesting. Wow, that helped solve a problem that I was working on. I want to follow this person more.
Yeah.
I want to listen more to what they're saying, because that was really useful. That really helped me figure something out, or that really encouraged me today, or that really picked me up and got me pointed in a better direction. When you do that, people start to want to follow you. I mean, Chris, I'm sure you have people that you have on your list of ones that you're following on social media as well.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, absolutely. And I think that, and we also have to be okay for people to not follow us, right? Like that are not the right people. And I think this is where as you're talking, David, I'm thinking about how so many people, especially starting out in early stage, entrepreneurs, we can focus so much on the what we do, and we don't think enough about the messaging of how to, like you said, get into that traffic stream and get people's attention, offer value. to even bring them over to our website to, get an opt-in, a lead generator of some kind. And I think that a lot of people are like, well, I just need to make my product better. And they keep working on the thing, but they don't work on what you're talking about of being visible, being consistent, being valuable. And I think those three things right there are huge. And there are people that, you and I both know that are very intelligent, great people that can do a lot of great things, but typically we see them falling down in one of these areas. And it's easy for any of us to do this if we're not careful, especially the consistency part. I see people who have great stuff and they're like on a binge for like 2 weeks. You see a lot of what they post, and then they're like gone for 2 months or more. It's like, well, what you have to offer is really valuable, but where did you go? So you're kind of ghosting your audience. And I think especially with social media and the way that, algorithms work and what's seen and everything, if you're not consistently putting things out there, you're not going to be seen, in people's feeds. But if you're day after day after day adding value and putting things in front of people,
Right.
But I think a lot of people struggle with this because they don't have a strategy, right? They don't have a plan. They're just kind of, today I'm inspired, tomorrow I'm not. And trust me, folks, I've been there. I've done great in seasons, I've done poorly in seasons. But I also think, to your point, David, it's just a matter of we have to look at this front end side of things so much more than we often do, especially when we don't, when we're not getting the sales we want, we're not getting the clients we want. We have to circle back and go, well, what am I doing to even get in front of those people?
Correct. Yeah, because if you're not getting in front of the right people, you're never even getting a chance to make a sale.
Right.
And so, yeah, well, some of our conversation today assumes that you at least have a good offer already in place. And
correct.
We're not, we had like a half hour here. We're not going to cover every aspect of all this. But what I want to talk about today is how do you even get people to hear it? Because if you have a good product and a good offer and it's compelling and you can get enough of the right people there, you will succeed. You will get there. And so a lot of this is, are you offering value on social media? Are you going out on social media and teaching people valuable things? Are you offering the valuable things? I always say this, like, hey, if I went on social media and said, to the next 100 people, I'm going to give away a free Lexus. Just go to this website, put your name and email in, and I'm going to buy you a new car. Well, do you think I'd get a whole bunch of people interested in what I was saying?
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And people say, well, that's insane. Well, you're right. I'm not going to, I don't have the budget to buy 100 Lexuses for people, but let's look at it this way. What if, scale it down a little bit, you did offer something of incredible value?
Yeah.
Just go here, put your name and email in, and I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Like it does, and I said the Lexus part just be obnoxious and to say something extreme, because everybody says, well, I don't want to bother people. I don't want to be annoying. Well, you're only annoying if you're making it all about you.
Right.
You're only annoying if you're always pounding and asking. It's all about me. I want. Give me. Well, those approaches do get annoying. Those people do get annoying, and no one wants to listen to them anymore. But you go on social media with I'm going to do something of use to you. I'm going to give you value in this next 10 minutes. And I'm going to offer you a free resource. I'm going to offer you a free whatever tool that you can use that would be really helpful to you in your journey. Okay. I'll sign up for that all day long.
Right.
If you're really truly offering something of value, that's the key. Are you offering something of value? Are you really putting something out there that your audience wants? That's really good. If it's not, you're going to have struggle. And again, you can't just go on social media and say, hey, I'm at XYZ. I sell XYZ. I'd love to get on a call with you, because I get a half a dozen of those emails every day.
Sure.
And all I'd ever do is read them for about 3 seconds and hit the delete button, because I'm like, this is garbage. I don't know who you are. You've not presented anything of value to me. You just want to sell. And so I'm just going to keep deleting.
They're trying to skip this step, right, of the value, aspect. And I think it's a huge, failure for many people that, and so many of us, this is a learning curve, folks. This is something you have to learn. And like you said, David, we're not talking about creating the offer today of what the product is or the service is. But, one thing I will say is once you have confidence in that offer that you have, the more you're able to communicate and add value on your social media platforms. That's something that I've had to learn over time, is the greater your confidence, knowing that you're going to help people, knowing that you're going to truly at the end be able to really help them, meet a need or satisfy a want of theirs. Then you're really, now it's like you said, it's if I need a new car and you're a guy and in your scenario, I'm offering free cars. Well, heck yeah, why would I not chase that down, right? Or I think, you see restaurants as an example, $10 off if coming in, on Friday this week or whatever. Like there's some things that, people that it gets in front of them and they're saying, well, I'd love to have $10 off my next meal at this place. So once again, it's valuable to them. And I think we just need to, especially as content creators, we have to figure that out, what is that value piece out, so that we can put that out there on there too. That's part of the mastery.
Right. So the good side of doing social media mastery is you're in control. And again, you can do it under your terms and your way. You don't have to worry about anything. You're going to do it the way you want to do it, and you're in total control of that. But the downside of it is you're kind of having to build the audience from scratch.
Yeah,
and that can take time. That can become challenging to go out and build an audience, especially on social media. It could take a while, and it could take a lot of effort. And sometimes it's multiple postings a day to try and keep getting in front of people, to get people to listen to you and get people to want to pay attention. So another way, which is a little bit of a faster method, is what we call partnership strategies. And what this involves is you got to go out and you got to find people in your business, in your industry, that sell complementary products and services to what you do. Things that your audience would also be interested in, but they don't sell or offer the same service that you're doing. They're doing something in the same area, but not exactly the same. And you learn how to build relationships with those people. You go network with them, you find out what they are you're doing, you build that relationship with them, and you say, hey, you know what? I would love to talk to your audience sometime. And tell them about what I'm doing. And anybody who signs up for my program or for my coaching or what my course, whatever it may be, I'll give you a cut. And we would do this all the time in the past. We would go out and find people who had audiences, and we would talk to them about the thing that we're doing. And people would if you wanted to do this, great. We'll do it. And anybody who signs up, the person who you're partnering with, you track the sales that come in through that promotion. And all of a sudden, you're getting sales because you have a built-in audience, and that people are already following that individual because they already know, like, and trust them. So you're coming in as a trusted referral, and there's credibility behind you before you even said one word. Because this person is vouching for you, saying, hey, I have a person who I really like, I've gotten to know, and I'd like for, they have some really valuable things that they're doing, and I'd love to, we're here to share what they're doing with you. And so you're getting people who are already what I would consider a warm audience. You're no longer dealing with people who are just like, who is this person? I don't know them. It's because that is something in the traffic world, is that you go from cold to warm to hot. Cold is, I just don't know you. I have never experienced you before. I don't know who you are, which that's how everybody starts, right? But when you're doing this, you already are moved into the warm bucket because of the relationship they have with the thought leader that's already there. And again, there's a whole process to doing this, but really it's just about networking. It's about reaching out to people who are out in your space and being able to say, hey, I see what you're doing. I love what you're doing. And you go off and you need to become a fan of theirs. You need to make yourself known. You need to be a positive member of their community, and they need to be able to see you and recognize you. Hey, I know this person. And then at some point you need to meet with them or talk with them and have a conversation in a good way and build that relationship. And then, we've sold many products and programs that way. You get onto their audience, they vouch for you, you teach what you're going to teach, and you make an offer at the end. And you can do that on social media. You can do it on a webinar where they email everyone on their list. I mean, we used to sell our author program a lot in the early days doing that. We would, we would make a bunch of sales with people. We would go on other people's lists and we would say, hey, we'll give you money for promoting a webinar we would like to do with you. And then that person literally needs to get on the webinar and do the introduction. And then they're pretty much done.
Right.
They can come on at the end for a little bit. Otherwise, they just sit there and let you do your presentation.
Right.
And at the end of the presentation, you make your offer. Anyone that buys, they get a cut. They're happy because they're looking at it going, this wasn't a lot of work for me.
Right.
And as long as you're somebody that is trustworthy, as long as you're somebody that is going to take good care of their people,
right,
that this is important.
Yeah.
Like the person on the other side is looking at it going, is this person good at what they're doing?
Yeah.
Do they know what they're doing? And are they going to actually take care of my people? Because if I promote this person to my audience and they come in and they screw it up and they treat people poorly, and then it gets back to me, hey, you recommended this person.
Yep.
And they treated me bad and I had a terrible experience. Well, now it looks bad on me.
Right. That's what I was going to say. You got a reputation issue to uphold there too, right? Like in all this is what you're saying, because and you and I both experienced this in negative ways where we've had people we thought, hey, we could recommend somebody that would help a friend or a colleague, that needs something. And my experience has even been good with some people. But the experience that others have had with that same person haven't been good. And so guess what? I quit referring people to those people because I'm like, I'm sorry, like they did a great, that's what I'd say. I started saying, well, this person's done a great job for me.
Right.
You could talk to them, but I start to get kind of nervous or skittish about that. So you have to prove yourself to be truly reputable and valuable. And David, you're talking, offline. I've had the experiences online, right? I've had this partnership relationship with certain associations where I've gone, they've invited me to speak or to train people. And basically what they've done is invited me to their audience to add value to their audience for their purposes. But because of that, now they help promote me to their people more strategically or relationally, even like, hey, I'll talk to Chris if you need help with this. And I've, even recently I went and spoke. I have couple of good leads on a couple of good businesses, and it was simply because last year the first time I went and spoke to this group, I was a wild card, right? They didn't know for sure how I would do, but then after I got good reviews and they were excited about it, guess what? First thing, late last fall, they're like, hey, our conference is coming up again, we'd love to have you come back, you're one of our top rated speakers. So I worked really hard at that first impression, especially because I wanted future opportunities and I wanted to be valuable to them. So whether it's online or offline, we have to have the same mindset, and don't go out and try to sell junk and spam people's audiences. That will take you down fast.
Right. And so in this lane, everything is about relationship and integrity. Everything hinges on those two things. So if you can develop that trusting relationship, like you're talking about, Chris, with that person you want to partner with, if you can develop that and they look at you and say, yeah, this is a really good person and he takes really good care of the people that I send to him and they have a great experience, I'm thrilled to refer people to you all day
100%.
in that scenario. Because you're taking care of a need that my customer has that I'm not going to do. Like you're solving a problem that I'm just not interested. It's clearly a problem that several of my people have, but I don't have the interest or the inclination to solve it and create something to solve it myself. So I can, and it actually becomes a really positive thing. Hey, just go talk to Chris and go work with him. And when you do that, A, I know you're going to have a great experience. B, you're going to get your problem solved. And C, I'm going to get paid.
Yeah.
Win. But again, that only works as long as the relationship is good, as long as the integrity of solving the problem is there. And once that starts to crack, once that starts to show signs of a problem, it's over.
Right.
As soon as that person looks at you and says, you didn't take good care of my people, or I no longer trust you, or I don't know that I have confidence in you anymore, it's over.
Yeah.
So that is a whole big relationship game, and that can take some time as well to build those relationships and to maintain and keep those relationships strong. But when you do keep them there, it is powerful.
Yeah.
Because there are people, I know that, there are people who have attached themselves to big thought leaders like a Russell Brunson, and they have worked really hard to maintain and manage and keep that relationship, and that relationship has made them millions of dollars.
Sure.
Because they just worked really hard, took care of things, and now they're doing promotions all the time and getting paid all the time.
Yeah.
And so it's a great one. And then
but you also have to think in that scenario, how many people try to go to Russell Brunson and he says no.
Right, because they don't have the relationship.
Yeah.
And he knows that they're just trying to make money off of them. And that's so when you have to really go to people who are like a little bit ahead of where you are. Like if you're at like level 1 and just getting started in your business, you can't go to a level 10 person.
Correct.
It's too far.
Yeah.
You got to go to like a level 3 person.
Yeah.
Who's like a couple steps ahead of you, a couple steps more down the process, that has an audience that's not huge, but it's an audience, and you start with them. And then as you do well with them, then you can work up to a level 5 person, and you can keep working your way up the ladder. But you don't go from being an absolute newbie beginner and going to asking Tony Robbins to promote you, because A, you're not ready for the volume that he would bring, and B, he's not going to talk to you because you're not established.
Well, don't you think though, David, this is where a lot of people are trying to, I'll say, shortcut the process. And in one level, this is a shortcut strategy to get to, new audiences, but you can't shortcut the process of becoming valuable and becoming and doing the work. And I think this is where people get in trouble sometimes. They try to jump too far too fast. They're not ready. They like you said, even if somebody gave them the volume of clients or customers they wanted, they wouldn't be ready to deliver on that, even if they had a good product, right? Maybe you don't have the systems in place to handle that, and therefore that's a bad experience. I mean, how many times have we said, just in, the physical space, like, maybe the food was good at a restaurant, but if the customer service was terrible, you end up don't going back. You don't go back because it wasn't about the food, it was about the service. So sometimes your product could be good, but if you don't have the systems in place to make sure that you can deliver well, I think that's one of the, from a consumer side, that's one of the biggest frustrations people have is, I like that idea or I like that product, but, I can't get, how many times you say I can't get a hold of a real person to get some help on something or whatever. This is the type of thing we're talking about, folks, that you need to build your way up to be ready. And, maybe working with a partner and you get 10 new clients, you can handle that. But if they gave you 100, you'd be crushed and it would be a bad experience. And you would feel bad. They would feel bad. Like it would be a bad thing all around.
Yeah. Yeah. And there is no shortcuts to this stuff. I mean, building up your presence on social media takes a lot of discipline and time. Yep. Building partnership relationships takes a lot of discipline and time. There are things in there that you're just going to have to invest in. And that's why I'm a firm believer in these shortcuts don't work. Yeah, somebody's trying to sell you a shortcut to get fast money and to fast this. Okay. I've seen this game too long to know that these shortcuts are great marketing hooks, but they seldom work.
Right.
And so it takes time. You got to invest in the process. Then the last strategy you want to talk about is advertising. And this is the one that involves the least amount of social media interaction. You don't have to post tons on social media. You got to have a presence, but you don't have to post a ton on there. You don't have to build long-term partnership strategies. What you need is a good offer and a good marketing funnel. And then you create an ad that you pay. And again, what you have to understand is people get nervous because like, I'm going to spend a bunch of money on ads and it could all be wasted. Well, then don't spend a bunch of money.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I would always say is spend a small amount of money. Start very small and spend $20. Every one of you should be able to spend $20 on your business, because if you can't spend $20 on your business, you don't have a business.
Yeah.
If you can't at least put some money into it, then you're not even really in business. Let's be honest. You're just playing around, because being a business involves you're going to have to spend some money. That's how it works. So one of the things that you do is you have to have an existing good marketing funnel in place, a good offer and a good product in place. And then you literally create little ads that you can run on Facebook or other social media platforms where you're out there promoting people to go check out your offer. And it could be that you're doing the same types of things like you did on social media. you're going out and you join my email list, and then you're getting people to join your email list. You're getting people to go out and check out a training that you did and potentially buy a product or whatever it may be. But the nice thing about, the downside is this costs money, and if you're really going to go at it, this can cost a lot of money. Like I've said in the past, and it always makes me swallow a little bit, is that I've spent over $1 million on ads.
Yeah.
And it just kind of makes me go, $1 million went out of my pocket to Facebook ads. Yikes. That's
Mark Zuckerberg thanks you for your business.
You're welcome, Mark. But when you think about over $1 million spent, that's probably the one thing in my life that I spent more money on than anything else. Well, even more than taxes, I probably spent, I don't know, taxes and Zuckerberg. I don't know. They're pretty close.
There you go.
Lifetime. I probably spent over $1 million of taxes over my life too. But regardless, that gave me the return. I was getting $5 back for every dollar that I was spending. So, that was the game that I was playing. And so I was spending, but once you get it dialed in, you can start to make really good money back. And the good thing is, if you want to reach more people, you just increase your ad budget.
Yeah.
But the key to doing it all is start very small, test your message, and only spend what you're willing to lose in the beginning. Yep. But once you get them, and so some of this is just testing. And once you get a message out there and you're getting in front of the audience that wants to hear your message, and you're starting to get traction with it, and people are starting to opt into your emails, they're starting to watch your trainings, they're starting to buy your products, all you got to do is increase the ad budget. And you go from 1 sale to 2 sales, from 2 sales to 5 sales, from 5 to 10.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden we're cooking with gas.
Yeah.
And now you can just keep increasing your ads and increasing your budget and start to really expand. And you can take this thing and blow it up in a big hurry.
Yeah.
So one of those 3 strategies needs to be employed, because the only way you're going to make sales is you got to get people in to see your offers, to see what it is that you're putting out there. And it only comes in one of 3 ways. So the best thing I can do is just recommend that, start with what you're comfortable with.
Right.
Because there are people out there that get really confused running ads. They are not techie at all. They get really struggling with it. But boy, they're really good at building relationships with people. Okay, great. There are other people that just love being on social media all day. They'll just post. And okay, do that then. Yeah. And all 3 of these are valid. All 3 of these will work. But then the last question is, what works for you?
Yeah.
What is the right fit for your personality, and what is going to make the most sense for you? And then do that and do it consistently.
Yeah. And once again, you said it right there at the end, right? It's consistency. It's staying in the game. It's continuing to test things and try things. There are people that I've heard, they're like, I don't want to be, on video or doing the social media posting, but I'm really, so they dial into, how do I create good ads? And so they can stay behind the scenes, but they're still, getting themselves out there. And so folks, this is the thing, right? Like there are so many programs that we see out there that are like, this is the one, path forward to do this thing. And it's likely going, does work for people, right? But it isn't the only way. And I think that's where a lot of people get tangled up. And something that we really try to help people with in our Design, Launch, Grow program is, what's the business you want? How do you want to approach your business? How do you want to find your customers? How do you want to serve your customers? And David, like you said, there's so many different angles and ways to address this. And so I think that's the biggest thing is, there's a lot of hype out there, but at the end of the day, will you love your business, or will you feel like it's an anchor that's dragging you to the bottom of the ocean? Because that's what a lot of businesses turn out to be for people, when they're really like, well, I got into this thing because I wanted to make money. I wanted to even serve people, but the methodology, the way I'm doing it is not the right fit for me. And so I was talking to somebody recently, what's kind of lifestyle business, lifestyle friendly business that you want? what does that look like for you? Do you want to do that? Do you want to build a business while you're sitting on the beach, on vacation a lot? Do you want to, work from home as you're raising your kids and your family? Like, what is it for you, and how do you build that thing? But at the end of the day, no matter what type of business that is, all these things still remain true, David. I think that's what, you brought these things forward. Every business, whether it's brick and mortar or online, have to do these things. And a lot of times, especially as you go farther, it's a mix, right? It's not just one or the other two. It's truly, figuring out ways to add layers to it. But you may not start there with all three, but most long lasting businesses have a mix of things, because they know people, kind of like finding that, putting yourself out in the traffic. There's a lot of people all out in the world.
Yeah. Again, if you don't have traffic, you don't have a business. And that's just kind of how it is. You have to have visitors to your business if you're going to get customers. Yeah. And that was really the point of what we were wanting to share today.
Yeah. So folks, if you need help with any of this, if you're struggling to figure out like, what's the best way for me to do this, or, how do what is that value that I need to put out there into the world so that I get that attention, so I attract the right kind of people to my offers, check out designlaunchgrow.com. It's our coaching program. We have lots of training videos. We have a great community of people that are trying to support one another and help each other on their own journeys, and just being that safe space for entrepreneurs who are growing. So check out designlaunchgrow.com. We would love to have you in the program to help you any way we can, help you really evaluate, analyze, and strategize how you can even be more successful from where you are, whether that's just starting out, or maybe you've been at it for a while and you're like, I'm just kind of hitting a plateau and I need to get to that next level. We'd love to help you with that too. So check that out. And we'd love to be your partners in your success. So we grateful that you spent time with us today, and we will see you next time.